All right, guys. Our next guest is a UFC legend and a longtime friend of the program. UFC 8 tournament winner, UFC Ultimate 1996 tournament winner, UFC 10 tournament runner-up, and UFC Hall of Famer in the Pioneer Wing class of 2016. It's a pleasure to welcome the Predator, Don Frye, back to Submission Radio. Don, how about that intro? Welcome back to the program.
Wasn't bad. I like the one with John Wayne and Clint Eastwood better.
Well, next time, Don. Learning curves. It's still early in 2017. Welcome back to the program, first of all, and Happy New Year. It's great to have you on, and there's a lot to talk about. Much like most of the fans around the world, we were shocked when we heard about your recent health issues on the MMA Hour. For those who didn't see the news, it was a broken rod in your back that initially brought you to the hospital, but a bunch of serious health issues came out from that situation. For those who don't know, tell us, what exactly happened?
Two broken rods, man. Anybody put up with one? Come on.
Of course. It takes a lot more to take down the Predator, of course.
Yeah, I had May 2010, May 2011, I had 5 back surgeries, and then June of 2013 I had the number 6, and they fused 10 vertebrae, put 2 rods in, titanium rods. And somewhere around 2014, I broke them without knowing it because I went in here last year to Cedars-Sinai, because a friend of mine, his dad was the head of the neurological section. So I said, well, let's get some x-rays. And he said, well, there's your problem there, you dumb ass. You got 2 broken rods, And so they were digging into my back. Anyways, we got around to finally getting the surgery done. And it was like a 10-hour surgery, and they spent 3 hours scraping away the scar tissue on the inside, from the broken rods. And I come out, and I had like a little hematoma, a little mini stroke, and hit the ground, and so they put me back in ICU, and I had pneumonia. They put me in a coma, for, I guess I was in there for 3 weeks. Right. I remember waking up a few times in ICU. Boy, it was not a pleasant experience.
Wow.
And yeah, fucking 3 weeks of that nonsense. And a buddy of mine told me that most people don't make it after 5 days in ICU, so I just had to prove them wrong, I guess.
Wow.
Anyways, they went back and put 4 rods in this time, and then went back in, pulled 2 out, and then they had to dig in my cheek, my left cheek, butt cheek. They operated on about 5 times because I had an infection in the spine, and they had to power wash the infection out.
Wow.
I bet he said the surgeon said he almost vomited, It's so gross.
Jesus.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. Sorry, go on, Don. Didn't mean to catch up.
I was in there for for Thanksgiving and my birthday, and didn't hear anything from my lovely family, and got out at I think I got out at the end of November.
I mean, it's a little bit of time since then, and everybody found out about what happened. I mean, give us the update. How are you feeling right now? Have you had much recovery? How's the body feeling, and are you seeing any improvements going into 2017?
Yes, sir. I went in there at 220 and come out at 180.
Wow.
Up 40 pounds. It was not a very pretty 180 either. Anyways, I'm back up to 210. And smoking cigars and drinking tea. I don't drink alcohol anymore.
Ooh,
wow.
I had a drink.
Wow.
Yeah,
I mean,
I haven't had a drink since September when I went in, and don't care to either, Lost my family over it, so I have no reason to go back to it.
Wow, congratulations. I mean, sobriety's a big deal, and it's good to see that you're making those kinds of life changes. Me and Dennis used to always joke that when we'd be interviewing you, you'd always have a nice scotch or a cigar or a whiskey or something like that, but that's fantastic, so congratulations. Anything else that you sort of came away with, any big epiphanies or things that you had? This is obviously a big life-changing situation for you. Did you come away with any other thoughts after this situation?
Well, I still got some unfinished business, Can't do anything for 6 months after I left the hospital, so I left a month ago. So I got 5 more months so I can start hitting the gym nice and hard. I've been going there a couple times to hit the bicycle, but that's not very exciting. So hoping to get after it again here.
Yeah, certainly. And I mean, you'd be itching to sort of get on the heavy bag or lift some weights. So not long left to go, Don. But I mean, when the news came out, I feel like the MMA world went in a tailspin, including ourselves, because no one really had an idea what was going on with you. And we know you must have been inundated with a bunch of messages from fans from all over the world and people wishing you to get better and seeing how you are. What was that experience like after you did the aerial interview? What was the experience like of, I suppose, the whole MMA community sort of coming together to wish you well and see how you are?
That was really nice. Like I said, I never heard anything from my family, or ex-family, whatever they want to call them. And it was nice to know somebody out there gave a shit about me. It really was. Maybe I had a lot of good people. Send me a lot of good messages. It's just shocked the heck out of me.
Well, you've obviously made a big impact on everybody's lives within the MMA community, so a very big thank you from us, Don. Just wondering, has anyone from the UFC reached out to you to see how you are and how they can help you?
Yeah, I always stay in contact with Ant Evans. Ant's a real good buddy of mine. We became friends over the years, and it was Ant who petitioned to get me into the Hall of Fame. And his wife just went through a scare. They thought it was cancer because she lost 18 pounds. She was sick and all that. He just called me yesterday and told me, they had black mold in their balls.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so they dodged the bullet on that one, I mean, they were scared and shit. So, I'm glad to hear that, his wife's gonna be okay. Her name is Jackie, and she's a good woman. And the earth is full of bad people. We need to keep the good ones around as long as we can.
Yeah, for sure. And our best wishes go out to Jackie as well. I mean, it's just the beginning of the year. We're in January right now, and you mentioned a new and improved Don Frye. You're off the drink now, and you're a few months away from being possibly in the best shape that you've been in quite some time. And another thing that fans can look forward to this year is the movie Animal Among Us. It's one of your new movies that's currently in post-production. The story behind the movie is 15 years ago, 2 teenage girls were murdered at Merrymaker campgrounds. The case was filed an animal attack. The camp was condemned and the killer never found. But something horrific still waits in those woods. What's even spookier is your name, Burl Wolf, which sounds pretty evil. Don, tell us a little bit about this project. I mean, we're scared just talking about it.
Oh, good buddy of mine, John Woodward. We worked on a couple movies before, and he wrote and directed this thing, and it was fun to work on. It really was fun, and they got a bunch of silly moments in it, but it's overall, it's based on the old '70s horror movies genre,
Mm-hmm.
and he did a great job of writing and directing, and I think some people are going to be real pleasantly surprised and happy with it.
Just tell us, is the mustache intact in this movie? We know you've shaved it off and gotten rid of it a few times in the past. Is this a mustache version of Don Frye that we're going to be expecting here as Burl Wolf?
You got it, baby. You got it. The mustache is the power of the movie, man. It's essential beat.
It's what sweet dreams are made of. Now, we know that pro wrestlers enjoy playing a bad guy. Do you enjoy playing these kinds of roles where you can sort of channel your evil self on the big screen?
Hey, I've never played a bad guy once, man. My guys have always been really good, misunderstood people.
Well, you know what, Don, when we saw this movie was coming out, it brought up a bit of a debate in the Submission Radio office. If we could play one evil character on TV in a horror movie, who would it be? So we debated for a while and we thought, hell, Don's going to be on the show and he's a part of this movie. So for the first time in Submission Radio history, we want you to choose one of the 3 options of an evil horror character you wish you would have played from some of the classics, okay, Don? We've got 3 options that we've narrowed it down to, and we want you to pick one. So the first one is an obvious choice in Jason from Friday the 13th. The second option is Freddy Krueger from A Nightmare on Elm Street. Or the third and possibly scariest option is Steven Seagal in all of his straight-to-DVD movie projects, which aren't meant to be horror, but the acting is pretty scary in those. Which one do you choose?
Shit, I'd have to gain 300 pounds to play Seagal, wouldn't I? Yeah, he looks like Jabba the Hutt.
and you have to be a sheriff as well. Sheriff Don Frye.
They're getting him a golf cart to turn around in. Go down to the ringside or cage side. Jeez.
Not the sheriff. So is that number 3, Don? Is that the choice you're going with?
No. I want somebody with a little bit of class and etiquette, So I think I'd have to go with Freddy Krueger, because he gets to go inside your head and your dreams. And, yeah, I think it'd be fun to get inside some of these little girls' heads, Shit.
Freddy Krueger with a Don Frye mustache. I can see it right now. Let's jump into the world of MMA, Don, because there's quite a few things we'd like your opinion on. And one of them is the heavyweight division. There's a few fighters who aren't too happy with the UFC. One of them's obviously Mark Hunt. After Brock Lesnar seemingly got a slap on the wrist for his failed drug test, Hunt's now suing the UFC, Dana White, and Brock Lesnar. And the suit alleges the defendants affirmatively circumvented and obstructed fair competition for their own benefit. It accuses the parties of racketeering, which carries the potential weight of treble damages and fraud, among other allegations. And Hunt, he's now seeking financial relief for damages, both physical and to his overall brand. Don, what do you think about Hunt's move to do this?
No, I love Mark Hunt, I really do, and that disappoints me, man. It's just kind of chicken shit, I mean, it's pro sports. He knew what he was getting into when he signed the deal, when he answered the phone. Come on, Mark, man up, buddy. Come on, you're better than that. You're just lowering yourself by doing that shit. I mean, everybody knows. You can just take a look at what's his name, Brock Lesnar, and tell. I mean, even if you don't know anything about pro sports or steroids, and like I said, Mark knew the score going into it. Come on, man. And it wasn't Lesnar's fault. Mark didn't throw a kick, didn't throw a punch. He just stood there like a freaking punching bag the whole 5 rounds.
Yeah, now, and it's certainly a different perspective. I mean, a lot of people sort of looking at that fight and wondering what happened in that sort of second round. But, I mean, the funny thing about the situation, or the interesting thing about it, is Hunt is fighting at UFC 209 in March against Overeem while this whole thing is going on. And a lot of people are calling his move a game changer in the sport for other athletes coming up in the sport. I mean, apart from the fact that you're a little bit disappointed for him in that reason, do you think this has the potential to help change some of the key issues fighters face?
It will. The timing's perfect because Dana White and the Fertitta brothers sold the sport, and nothing was going to change as long as the Fertittas owned it, and it was based in Vegas. Nothing would have changed. Now, you have some Hollywood people trying to run it, and they're smart when it comes to movies and stuff, but sports is a whole different animal, so they could end up getting raped.
Wow, that'd be something. Another big name in the heavyweight division who is unhappy at the moment is the UFC champion Stipe Miocic, who came out in a recent interview a couple of days ago with Ariel Helwani and explained how he was unhappy with the deal the UFC gave for his last title defense in his hometown of Cleveland. Stipe is not the only one unhappy in the division, though, with Verdum speaking out about being unhappy with his relationship with the UFC, and one of the big stars of the division, Cain Velasquez, he's struggled with an injury and injuries in the past, having to be pulled out of his last fight at UFC 207 in the last minute. What do you think about this landscape of the division right now, and how serious of a problem do you think it is for the UFC with all these unhappy heavyweights, Don?
You know what? For the champ, what's his name?
Stipe Miocic.
Yeah, Steven Miocic. I don't know. Shit. You know what? That's your fault for not having a better agent. You know that? You're worth what you settle for. And, fire your agent, get a better agent. Get a better attorney. That's your fault. You can't blame anybody but yourself. I did the same mistakes in my life. As far as Cain Velasquez, that come on, man, the guy hasn't fought in 3 years. Can't even make it to a fight. Can't even fight once a year. Jeez Louise. Verdum, I like Verdum, but I don't know what he's bitching about. Jeez, he's made a good living.
Do you think that in some ways it's a good thing, though? Because for a long time, people have discussed fighter pay and saying, look, the pay really isn't where it should be. The fighters should be getting more. And we sort of seem like we're in an age now where, because of the Conor McGregors and all these other, people having public negotiations, everybody's kind of gone, you know what, I'm going to negotiate for what I think I deserve as well. And it seems like for a lot of fighters, it is actually working. Not all of them, but some. Do you think it's a good thing that these fighters are trying to get their worth?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, you start make more money boxing than you do in MMA. And my God, boxing's dead. Like I said, you need a better agent. But the UFC's got a stranglehold on it. But now that they sold it, it's going to be interesting. And I think you're going to see Bellator take over now, because everybody's going to shift to Bellator, since you can have your own sponsors on your gear. That's where they make all the money.
Just circling back to Brock Lesnar.
God bless.
Sorry, go on, Don.
I said, God bless Conor McGregor for what he's done for the sport. Everybody should be happy. And they should all kneel down and kiss his ring.
And the interesting situation is, I suppose, the UFC struggling for star power right now. We had Bas Rutten on the show last week, and he sort of brought up the point that he believes there's a good chance Brock Lesnar may return to the UFC in 2017 because of the fact that there's a lack of star power and the UFC may need him to sell pay-per-views. I mean, this is a controversial subject. He's a guy who got caught cheating, but he got a slap on the wrist and didn't really affect his personal life because he went back to the WWE, and now it looks like he could come back again for a huge payday in the UFC at some point when his suspension is up. Where do you sort of sit on this issue of him coming back and fighting again after everything that's happened?
Well, money makes the world go around. And I think people are starting to realize maybe the sport's not as clean as what everybody thought it was. And, Brock can come back and make money. Good for him.
Well, speaking of stars who we don't really know how much longer we'll have them for, another star, of course, who has an uncertain future in the UFC is Ronda Rousey, who got beaten once again at UFC 207. Amanda Nunes made quick work of Ronda, who got stung early with the fight getting stopped 48 seconds in the first.
Horrible. That was horrible, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's definitely disappointing if you're a Ronda Rousey fan. And, of course, Rousey's team received a lot of criticism from fans and from media. What did you think of her having that second loss in a row and this loss being even quicker than the first one against Holly?
Everybody knows anything about fighting saw that one coming, She never recovered from the Holly ass whooping. And she's got a bunch of idiots in her corner. She needs to step back and hire somebody new. I mean, Gene LaBelle is great. I love Gene. He's the only decent one she's got in the food chain there, but poor Gene doesn't know where he's at sometimes. And, the mother monkeys, god dang, man, they shouldn't even tell a kid in a schoolyard fight how to throw a punch.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those situations where obviously in your career, you've had some losses and you've come back. I'm just curious from your perspective, what does it take to come back from a couple of losses in a row or a loss in a row? If you could offer some advice to, for example, if Ronda Rousey was listening, what do you think is the key to sort of mentally bring yourself back to the winning ways?
Takes a lot of hatred and hard work, That'd be the simplest thing to put it. Hatred and hard work.
It's interesting that you say hatred. Why exactly hatred, and how would you say hatred plays a part in it?
Strokes the fire, buddy. You gotta have fire in your belly, to get after her. She got had life by the balls. Got a nice house up in the Hollywood Hills. She's not suffering. I mean, that's most people. You get into fighting because you want to better your life. You're not happy with your life. It's not about the title or the belt or the money. It's just Yeah, it's about the money that pull yourself out of the gutter, out of the projects, ghetto, barrio, what have you. You want to make a better life for yourself and for your family. And if you're living in a $6 million mansion, it's hard to get up in the morning and run. It's hard to do the work you're supposed to do. And you got to have people in your corner that will call you out when you miss a practice. On a rematch, when that hatred, you got to be the one that calls your people out. Say, hey, you're missing the practice. I'm here 10 minutes early. Where the hell are you?
Well, speaking of your career, Dodd, when you look back on it, do you see a point where when you were sort of on top of the game, you sort of lost that motivation for a little bit? Or was it easy for you to keep that sort of hate and hunger for the majority of your career?
No, I lost it. That's why I started getting my ass kicked there in Frye. That and the drugs. I hurt my back and I started taking pills. So I get to the next fight. I got to the next fight stoned. And shit, when you're stoned, you don't have much hatred. You're just kind of you have nothing. You're just numb. You're numb from the neck up, and it's no good for anybody.
Wow, is there a particular fight that you can sort of point to where you remember that you felt that way?
Oh, I remember I took a pill before the Shamrock fight. To my back. I hurt my back somewhere before the Shamrock. And then I took a pill before the Takayama fight, and then I took a couple pills before the Banner fight. As you can tell, I walk around there like I was blind.
Wow.
Geez, I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
And if you don't mind me asking, what exactly was it? Was it a painkiller, or what were the pills?
Yeah, the painkillers, Vicodin or Percocet, one of those. Just, my back, just. That was the beginning stages of my back injury,
When you look back, does a part of you wish you sort of took the time to recover and not force yourself to sort of get in there and take the pills and sort of hurt your back even more, and would have taken the time to sort of recover and come back a bit later, avoiding that kind of situation?
Absolutely. That would have been the only intelligent thing to do. But, I wasn't intelligent, and, hell, I'm done fucking Frye. My injury hold me back.
Yeah, the good thing is, it's a new Don Frye. It's 2017. There's exciting things on the horizon. And for a lot of fans, this will be the first time that they hear from you for quite some time. So, Don, let's just quickly talk about what 2017 holds for you. What are some of the things we can look forward to from you in 2017? And what kind of stuff, apart from getting back in the gym and getting into shape, can fans look out for?
Well, Cal Worsham and I are going to go up north to California here and go hog hunting. I think it'll be in March. And, I'm toying around the option of opening up a gym and talking. I got to finish my degree. If anybody out there you stay in school, graduate, go as far as you can, get your, I had this back injury, sent it home that I need to concentrate on my brain instead of my body more. So, because it just pulled everything out from underneath me, this freaking divorce and the back injury, I got nothing left, so I'm starting out 2017 brand new, fresh. I got nothing. I have nothing. So I got to start brand new all over again.
Yeah, certainly. And that's an interesting thing that you mentioned, opening a gym. I could totally see a Don Frye team taking over the MMA world one day. Quick question. What kind of mustache requirements would you have to join the gym in the first place?
Oh, hell, I don't know if this generation can grow mustache, can they? Wait a minute. Yeah, only one I've seen is Uncle Creepy,
That's a pretty good mustache, right? Is that Don Frye approved?
That's Don Frye approved. Yeah, Uncle Creepy's mustache. I like that.
Very nice. And you said you were getting a degree. What degree are you going for, Don?
History degree. Finish up my history degree.
Okay.
I have four or five classes left yet, you know.
Oh, awesome. So what you're saying is you'll be a teacher at a school once you're done. That's what you're looking to do. Teach the next sort of generation of kids about history. And I mean, what everyone's going through right now is, I suppose, history as well. But work in a school as a teacher.
Yeah, that's. Well, I told my youngest daughter I was going to do that. You know, teach at her school. She said, "No, you're not." You know?
Well, I'll tell you what. If I was back in school and Don Frye was my teacher, I think I would have gone to a lot more classes. Don, thank you so much for coming onto the program. I mean, exciting times, and fans can follow you on Twitter at Don Frye Fighter. Are you looking to be a little bit more active on Twitter in 2017 to let people know what's going on?
Yeah, I am, because, you know, I've been in so much pain this last decade, you know, and I tell you, this is the first time my back hasn't hurt in 15 years. You know, and so I'm real happy about that. I'm just chomping at the bit to get back into life, you know, get back into the gym, and, you know, I got to buy me a new horse, and my horse died last year, you know, and so, you know, I need a dog, need a horse, need a woman, you know, need a job. Like I said, I'm starting all over again, man. Fresh.
You're basically holding auditions for all three parts, and Don, you sound great. You sound a lot better. We've had you on the show many times, and I feel something in your voice. You've got a good vibe behind you, so we're looking forward to seeing the best version of Don Frye in 2017. As Dennis mentioned before, don't forget to give Don Frye some love on Twitter at Don Frye Fighter, and as always, Don, it's an absolute pleasure chatting to you, and thank you so much for giving us your time.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for remembering me. Appreciate it.
We'll never forget you, and there's always a special place here in Submission Radio for you. So we're happy to have you on anytime.
All right, partner. Appreciate it. Thank you much. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.